Welcome everyone. We're going to open the meeting October 18th at 6:30 p.m. Opening of the regular meeting. I'd like to remind everyone of the Declaration of Pecuniary Interest and general nature thereof. And first order of business is the adoptions of the minutes of previous meetings. That's moved by Lindsay, second by Tracy. Be resolved that the minutes from the regular council meeting held on September 20th, 2021 be adopted. All in favor? And tonight we have delegations from our committees, and we have Mr. Lee Dauphin and Mr. Ted Priddle sitting here. And I'm going to give the floor to you, Lee, to start.
Okay, where would you like me to present from?
You can do it where.
Do I need to be on camera or anything, or?
No, I don't think so. No, it'll pick you up for sure.
Okay. Okay. I'm here representing the Thessalon Horticulture Society. With the town support and our OMAFRA grant and donations, we are still doing okay. The Ontario Horticulture Society has raised membership costs, and our society is now required to increase our memberships. We kept our memberships at the bare minimum for as long as we could, but going forward, we've decided to increase the memberships from $5 to $10. Memberships will still get discounts at some of the businesses in the area and can quickly be recovered, recover the membership fees. During COVID, our membership numbers have dropped, but we haven't been as active promoting the membership. Only the local drugstore has been selling our membership rather than the town office, Creative Basket, and Fluke's Timber Mart. We'll have our new membership cards available in October for anyone looking for stocking stuffers for gardeners. This year, we maintained the traditional beds around the community. The Sunset Lookout site is still a work in progress. We plan to plant a huge number of spring bulbs this fall to increase the flowers for next spring. More soil is being considered to help with the gravel conditions. We hope to increase the perennials and shrubs in the area and reduce the number of annuals. Annuals require more watering to keep them going, while the perennials have a better root system that can take more of a weather change. This year we added 2 honeysuckle bushes, 2 flowering crabapple trees, and 2 3-season lilacs. We also added 2 of the 3-season lilac bushes at Peace Park. We purchased a red maple for the park at the cenotaph, and the town employees looked after the planting. During care and maintenance, it was brought to my attention the tree may have been planted with the pot still around the roots. Martin Hamilton and I dug up the tree, removed the heavy cardboard pot, extended the hole, and replanted. Better instructions may be needed going forward for town staff when planting trees. The Horticulture Society is interested in your plans for the west entrance sign. With no water source and difficulty driving close to the sign, our members are not wanting to be involved with watering. We would plant the bed, and members think grasses may look good and be hardy with minimum watering. Crushed rock is another alternative. Whatever is decided won't make everyone happy. Once again, the town employees have raised concerns about the weight of the planter inserts from the Main Street planters. We are planning to add more styrofoam before next summer. Reducing the depth of the soil may result in the planters requiring daily watering. One of the inserts had a split down the side. Not sure if the lifetime warranty applies or if it was only the outer frames. The town should look into that and maybe replace the damaged insert before next summer. Members have suggested that the gazebo at Flaren Park should be given another coat of stain. Is this something the town would look after? The Horticulture Society arranged building the gazebo on the town property, but who is responsible for maintenance? It was a special project we took on with the financial support of the town. The Horticulture Society looks forward to continue working with the town to add natural color throughout the community. That's pretty much a summary of any specific questions I might be able to answer from council.
Any questions for me? Well, I'd like to congratulate the Horticulture Society. It's a big part of our town when people are coming in from outside of town. Our town is, you get all the nice reports about how beautiful it is, the flowers. So I think it definitely is a big part of it, and we'll be willing to work with you on the new sign. Whatever we decide, we can.
Yes.
Definitely.
The one thing maybe, I'm not sure if I let the office know, I actually had a request from the Sioux Horticulture, and they came down and actually did a video of my yard and pictures. And then I just took them around the town and made sure they seen they were amazed at how much, what the beds and everything looked like around the community, and what the town and the limited horticulture staff that work have accomplished.
Yeah, it would be a little video for sure.
Could with the gazebo, could that be a project that the group there do?
Yeah, we're willing to, we're going to stain it, and just a question of whether the town will cover the cost of the stain or whether.
Oh, you guys got somebody to actually do it then?
Well,
I think you're talking about the Rangers.
Yeah, the Rangers, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because they're always looking for projects, so.
Yeah, but we don't know if that.
Oh, for sure. I don't want to get more for sure.
Oh, okay.
I'll move forward. Yeah, my house needs staining too, so maybe the Horticultural Society, if they will, I'll buy the stain for you
Or
guys.
the Rangers.
Thanks again, and make sure you thank everyone on the committee.
Okay, thank you.
Moving on, Mr. Priddle.
Thanks, Mr. Mayor. First thing I'd like to mention is that we're still holding a vacancy for a position on the Municipal Economic Development Committee. So hopefully the town is pursuing filling that position, because it would certainly help us out. Back in April, when we presented, we talked about the development across Highway 17, north of Highway 17. And we were informed that the planning committee was working on that. And since then, we've had discussions with the planning committee, and we're very pleased with what they're proposing, and we support that proposal as well. We had asked for some funds to do a feasibility study for looking at the property, Riverside Ballpark, looking at trail development, etc. And that was before we realized that there was going to be a trails development committee. And since then, we've had discussions with that committee, and they've got some proposals to make the ski hill or the cross-country ski trails 4 seasons, as well as they're looking at a proposal for a trail east of Smelter Bay. They're going to call it the Coastal Trail. And we think that's an excellent idea. So we've asked the council, and the council agreed that we move some of the funds that we proposed for the Riverside Ballpark proposal to those 2 proposals. And we think that those 2 developments will greatly increase the availability of walkable trails, bikeable trails, ski trails, etc. in the town. One of the other things we're looking at under the land use development was industrial property. And unfortunately, because of other projects we've been working on and because of the COVID issues, we haven't been able to move that forward, but that's one of our priorities moving forward in 2022 is looking at a small industrial park for light industrial commercial potential investment here in town. And we'll be working closely again with the planning committee on that to determine which direction we go. On our marketing plan and signage, we were looking at purchasing and installing a map down near the Lakeside Drive development somewhere, so that people in the area could look at the map, find out what attractions there were. And there was some funding that the town was looking at to purchase that map, and unfortunately the funding didn't go through. So we've decided to move that the proposal to 2022 as well. because we like the option 1 on that map development. So, and the other part of that was to update the maps, the existing maps around town. And because of the developments that are in progress, we decided to hold that off till next year as well, because we don't want to go ahead and update them and then have to update them again. The other thing we wanted to do was complete the destination signage throughout town, and we were able to complete that. There's 2 new signs on Government Road, one at the corner of Government Road in Dawson, and the other one at the corner of Government Road in Federation. So the people coming in Government Road have some direction to the points of interest, and that's been completed. Also, the points of interest information signs, one at Lighthouse Point, one at the Sunset Drive Lookout, and one at the Red Bridge are now all complete. So next year we'll be looking at, are there other locations where we can put those types of signs in town so that people can, while they're walking or driving through town, know what some of the points of interest are. We're also looking at updating the brochures and maps, the paper maps that we have in the office here and throughout town. But again, we've decided to put that off to 2022 to make sure that we get all the new proposed developments in place. The other big project that we've been working on this year and we're slowly developing is a short promotional video. We've so far brainstormed some ideas as to what the video should include. And what we're looking at is a short promotional video that will give a quick overview of the whole town of Thessalon, but then focus on the 4 seasons. What are the attractions here in Thessalon during the 4 seasons? So we hope to have one of the vendors available at our next meeting, which is early November. And hopefully what we'll have before the end of the year for the council to review is a storyboard on what that video will entail, and hopefully get your approval so that we can move forward early in 2022. Sign maintenance has been a part of our project this year as well, and we've been able to update some of the signage throughout town. I want to thank Ken and his crew for doing a very good job in getting some of those signs cleaned up and or removed. And basically, that's my report. Questions?
Anybody have any questions for Ken?
All good things, right?
Yeah, moving forward, I think we're moving the town definitely forward in the right direction.
We have the posting up on our page or on our site and everything for the vacancy.
For the vacancy, I would think it would be.
It has been. I'm going to be doing another one because there's a few vacancies on committees.
The only other thing I'd like to mention, and that came from this year's budget preparedness, was we put together a budget without knowing what some of the other committees were proposing or trying to do. What I'd like to propose is, before the budget is required to be in place, that maybe the chairs and or the co-chairs of each committee meet so that we can kind of get an idea of which group is doing what or proposing what, and then we're not overlapping and coming back and saying, you know, we put some money aside for this, but actually the planning committee was already doing it, or the Marina Parks group was doing it. I think that would be more efficient in making sure that we're doing the best that we can do with the resources that we have.
I guess that's something we should have probably picked up on too. I guess we should have picked up on that too, Ted, I guess, when we were seeing double mapping requests for budget, the same kind of funds, I guess.
Yeah, probably should be planning committee and economic committee and
Definitely moving
recreation
forward.
committee should all be in.
I think the trails are going to be
exactly.
a big attraction. Like, I mean, you hear it on the news every day on different towns and municipalities, they have their trails and how popular they've really become in the last few years. So
Sunday, we're meeting there, Sunday. Meeting?
I think
Some
this
work on the trail.
yeah, there is for working on the trails. There is
Yeah, for sure.
That's the one next to it.
Thank you, Mr. Priddle.
Oh, you're very welcome. Thank you.
So, other committees, Scott Forrest was
Appreciate your
appointed
time, guys.
for the fire, and you guys, yeah, you can for
For
coming, guys.
coming, guys.
Oh, thank you.
Appreciate it.
So. Everybody had a chance to look at the Scott's reports for the fire department, and the marina and parks.
We haven't seen anything else come up, maybe Campbell with the fire truck, right? We're gonna have to really take a hard look at that there one of these days. Yeah, no, that's the whole situation, like either we're gonna reach out to your own shores or do something ourselves there.
Yeah, I mean, the training and stuff is,
I know our name came up at the fire college on the weekend, there tells at the fire college there. And the fire department kind of came up in the conversation there. Not a good way.
well, we're lacking in training.
Yeah,
Everybody knows that, so.
Comments are made by that. But it's just with. But a couple of comments were kind of, both fire truck and just the training and stuff, kind of accurate.
Yeah, that's a hard conversation, something like that.
It's a conversation we keep bringing up, but like Scott keeps saying, the boys are just pushed to where they, as far as they want to go, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, that's what he means. Well,
We don't have any,
according to him, they're pushed as well.
we don't have any training.
Yeah.
I mean, if something happens at a fire, we're gonna be in trouble.
Yeah, and that's the point, keep telling them, but like every time that some training comes up, you tell them, nobody wants to go and do it.
Yeah, it's hard, that's the biggest thing.
Other commitments, right? You know, it's always other commitments.
So, as we move forward, we'll definitely have to look at other options.
I don't know if we're gonna have to pay him to go do this training or the lecture or something. But we just don't seem to, don't want to make the time for it.
We'll have to get together on that eventually.
Oh, we got it. Too late. Building, fire truck, and
So moving forward, try neighbors, Robert. Well, everybody's seen these reports that are in here. Does anybody have any questions on any of these?
I can give you my verbal report for the doctor recruiting committee.
I like that.
Yeah. So, as you know, we're short a couple of doctors in our catchment area. So there, we've had a large number of locums. Alyssa's been working pretty hard to get the locums working at all 3 sites because there's also a need in Blind River. We didn't have any medical learners this summer, but we have our first family resident, as you guys know, Dr. Amy Vine, working in the area. And she is primarily based in Sault Ste. Marie, but she also has a new pilot of primary preceptors in a rural community. So that's exciting for us.
So she's a doctor in the Sioux?
She's a resident in the Sioux, but she does some days down here as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just in the hospital?
No, in the clinics as well.
Like our doctor does?
Doctor here and then in Bruce Pines.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, and then our recruiter is working on a number of virtual recruitment fairs to try and get some new folks interested in coming to visit the area and see what we have to offer. We also, this was our first, we've just had 2 meetings now with the first new committee set up, which is essentially merging the separate east and west committees that, and, you know, working more as a unified group and bringing incentives up to par and things like that. So it's a good thing. There's a draft terms of reference now, and the committee, the new committee is being chaired by the CEO of the hospital. So we've had 2 meetings and have gone well so far. And I think that Alyssa will continue to work on trying to get some folks in the community, but so far we've had enough coverage.
So with this, it all being under one umbrella, one's not gonna steal from the, like, it'll be all even when you go after a doctor?
Right, so with this, the incentives will be similar and like the, you know, so it will be basically come down to the preference of the physician that's coming.
Right,
So, you know, if there's a spot in Blind River, Bruce Mines and Thessalon, it should be sort of equivalent, and then it would just come down to where
Where
they
it
would
wants to
prefer
live.
to be, yeah.
Not a nice house for somebody to come in with that.
Deanna Hagan, does anybody ever talk to her?
I
She's
don't know.
supposedly next year coming back, I
Okay,
think.
I'll mention that.
She did mention she wanted to stay in the area.
Yeah, I think Mike and them, they'd like her to come back, and her husband apparently can work from anywhere. They got a camp on Coburn Island now, so.
And the STEP committee hasn't met recently. However, we've done a number of advertisements in the Sentinel over the last few months about different topics with respect to environmental sustainability. So, you know, recyclable seed starters, how to attract pollinators, you know, natural cleaners, meatless Mondays, things like that, right? We're trying to continue that type of thing as we go forward and come up with new events and new ideas to promote sustainability in the community.
The recreational trails, do you want to just give us a quick update, Lindsay? Can you?
Yes, what I told them.
Oh, it's right there, but.
Yeah, so on Sunday, we're doing a work bee. We're rerouting the Stewart Highlands trails so that they will avoid access to Stewart's Fields. And then we have agreements out to seek for full year permission. Right now, the previous years, we've only had access for the winter months because we'd like to groom them for hiking and biking. And we'll be working on some signage and interactive trail signage so people can take their phones, scan a code, see where they are on the route. So stuff like that will take some time, but that's a long-term goal. Cross-country ski passes, we're going to do $25 per person this year. Children under 12 free. We've started talking with someone in the Sioux, has a little clothing business, and we're just waiting on the prices, but he's agreed to do like some trails merchandise for us. I don't know if I should say the name yet because it's not official. So, and what else? Yes, as Ted mentioned, the coastal trails we're working on. Joe and I actually met with someone from the MNR on this past Thursday because we're going to be applying for a work permit to do a boardwalk type bridge over the marsh there. So she gave us some kind of tips and understanding on how we will go about applying for this permit. And she couldn't guarantee anything, but she seemed pretty hopeful for the project. So, and then we're waiting for the active transportation fund to open. Council approved at a previous meeting for us to apply for it, but it just hasn't opened since we've gained permission. Then we are also planning some trail events. Hopefully we'll work with the rec committee on them, but we want to do a 5K trail run or hike at the Stewart Highlands. And then we are planning a holiday lights run. We thought it would be cool if we got the town to encourage them to decorate, and we'll do the route based on who decorates, and hopefully with the rec committee we can make that a good event. And we have costs already to pitch, and $10 a person or $25 a family going towards the trails development.
We've come quite a ways on our trails in less than a year, so.
So the ski trail we were on last year, we won't be using those?
We will be, but those portions of it will be rerouted.
Okay.
It's stay in the bush.
Hill?
Yeah. And we had the rangers out there. They did They did about a day and a half of work, but they did a small portion, but they did it well, like grooming it. So hopefully we're thinking
Okay.
maybe one more in a couple weeks there, and we should be ready to groom it for the winter.
So this Sunday though is. going
Yeah.
to be-
Question about 12 and under. They're gonna be out there with their parents, they're not gonna be 12 and over.
Yeah. And I'm also working on a trails page too for the website so that maps and stuff can all be there and all the information is gonna be in one spot for the trails information as well.
Perfect.
Where are we meeting on the highway?
Have you been to the, like, where Jen Grexman is the trails
Oh, yeah.
entrance, yeah.
So in the senior aging ad hoc committee, we've had a few meetings and we're kind of getting steered in the right direction now. We have a mandate with goals. We have a couple openings on that too.
Yeah, I see. a couple
Jennifer
of-
Cloud and Mary Ellen stepped back. They're willing to advise, but they're involved in so many other things, but, so a needs analysis is our big first goal that we're setting out to see, and then it'll give us direction on what kind of building we need done in time, for what kind of housing we need, and, so it all works together, but it is starting to move ahead.
Did you want Marcel to go over the tri-neighbors or any highlights to?
Any highlights of the tri-neighbors?
Other than, we decided, we put up a fence this year, it's up now and the security gate's up. It's already deterring, thieves. I mean, we've had 2 pull in and 2 pull out.
What you seen on the camera?
One was shot over the other one, I kind of pulled in and I got out of their vehicle and I looked up.
Good.
But we have another gate that now, that ain't being watched, that they're throwing garbage over. So we're gonna put another camera in there.
Well, I think they could. They went in and dumped their garbage.
Yeah. So this is another place where we gotta, stick something in, and everything else seems to go good. We've found a place to get rid of our electronics now again. They're actually paying us money, so the other company didn't want to give us anything, they just wanted to take the electronics away, and everything seems to be going fine.
So they got, what did we get, what did they say, 3 triaxle loads from that transport on the highway?
Oh, for
He said
The
like
fuel.
50 acres, 3 triaxle loads? We did okay.
four cars, 250 a load.
Yeah.
And you said she'd comment on community events and activities.
So throughout the year in March, we had did the Lucky Pet contest and we did a 30-day wellness challenge. There was an Easter egg scramble. And then on the August long weekend for the family baseball, since there wasn't any, we held a family baseball scavenger hunt up in the park with all the teams and got everybody through. People, and then we took them on the new trail. So, a lot of comments about that. And there was a Hawaiian themed business decorating contest. And then down at Peace Park, we did a scavenger hunt with different species and trees in our area. There was even some that I didn't even realize about, And then the yard sale we had here and the vintage car parade, and then the show and shine, the car show that was down at Peace Park was very well attended. There's a Halloween decorating contest going now for people's homes. And then there was also a sandcastle building contest on the beach this year, just trying to involve families because of COVID. And I'd asked today about, I don't know if we can do it or not, but a Christmas Santa skate, like if Santa was at the arena, like before, and they just handed bags to the kid. I don't know if you're able to or not. Just how the Legion always puts bags together for the kids there. I'm not sure.
Yeah, it'll have to go to committee, I guess, see if we can do that.
Blair's too. Blair's too, there, you showed the candy down
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. But other than that, there's not a whole lot.
Yeah, I mean, I think things are gonna change pretty quickly in the next month. As long as we don't see no big outbreaks, I think we'll move forward. And Lindsay's gonna do the planning too? Just a quick,
Sure. So the town owned property north of Highway 17 for development is underway. We had a drainage study done by Telek this year to make sure we could move forward. And now we are waiting for MTO to do a traffic impact study so we can find the safest preferable way into the development. The feasibility study was complete on Dawson for possible development for housing or seniors housing, and we're working in conjunction with the Seniors Healthy Aging Committee on this. The planning and development page was put on the website. It has permits and application forms on there, and also we post information about upcoming meetings. So when we did our zoning bylaw amendment, they put all the information on there for it. July, we had our zoning bylaw amendment take place for phase 1 and 2 of Lighthouse Point. Because we had the different restrictive covenants floating around, we needed to take that on. So we had one piece of concrete information that the town could follow. So that was passed. We had a public meeting, and I think we had about 9 residents attend, and we took all of their feedback, edited a bit, and no one complained after. So I think it was well taken. We have another zoning bylaw amendment coming up next month. And our zoning bylaw update, we're slowly working on with Chris Jones. However, because of the official plan being done last year, we need to complete it by 2022.
The traffic impact study is no underway. The consultant is doing that. They've hired a consultant that specializes in that, and they're working on it. They're just waiting to see if we had an encroachment permit from MTO, which we've done quite a while ago. So we're good to go there.
That's if we go off the highway. Or
Either way.
Yeah.
We go off government road, you can't have traffic.
Just tune up right from the bridge across.
okay.
yeah, they did 2 impacts, they're doing 2 impact studies.
Yeah, for both scenarios.
Okay.
Keep the options open.
So we'll move into letters for action. Linda, number 2.
Be it resolved that Mayor William Rosenberg or his designee participate in the Royal Canadian Legion Branch 182 Poppy Flag raising ceremony to be held on October 29th, 2021 at 9 a.m.
That's moved by Linda, second by Randy, all in favor? And Linda, number 3.
Be it resolved that council continue its commitment to the Lake Huron North Channel Cycling Route and Waterfront Regeneration Trust Partner Program by paying the annual $500 fee.
That's something we started like 3 years ago.
Longer than that, wasn't it? What they said? Yeah.
That's moved by Linda. Everybody in, second by Randy. Everybody in favor?
2015.
Tracy, number 4.
Be it resolved that council register for the 2022 Roma Virtual Conference and General Meeting to be held on January 24th and 25th, 2022.
It's gonna be virtual. Robert and I talked about, we're probably gonna set it up in here. So if anybody wants to just, like, sessions. So if someone sees an interesting session, they want to come in and listen to it, then we'll just, it'll be here. That's moved by Tracy, second by Lindsay, all in favor? Randy, number 5.
The result, the council of town of Thessalon endorses blank for the northern zone position on the board of directors of Ontario Good Roads Association for the 2-year term ending February 28th, 2024.
Okay. Do you know if anyone wished to let their names stand for that position?
I didn't know if anybody other than Lindsay would want to try and put his name in there.
That's what I just said to him. I put his name down. We gotta meet 4 times a year in Toronto.
You want to put your name in? Okay, so we resolve the council of the town of Thessalon endorses Lindsay Fallon for the northern zone position on the board of directors of the Ontario Good Roads Association for the 2-year term ending February 28, 24. Moved by Randy, second by Linda. Sorry. I said moved by Randy, second by Linda. All in favor?
Oh. Nobody did the boss.
So we'll move into committee and staff reports and Mr. Seibert.
Made a request to construct the tower for ADSA or PDSB. It's in the park boundary. And it's something right out of the blue. They'd already determined where they wanted to put the tower. And they're very pushy and trying to get us to sign this agreement to get this thing up and running. They said they're working on behalf of the school board. I contacted some of the adjacent communities and who had also received requests from this company. Some had already allowed the construction of these towers, a tower. One town in particular had issues with the company not following through the terms of the contract that they had signed. I also touched base with local principals to see if this project is backed by the school board. He said they get back to me, but no one ever did. I explained to the representative from the company this would be a decision that I would have to discuss with the municipal building, property, and equipment committee. The committee decided that we should put forth a resolution to council not to enter into this agreement at this time, and that the request be moved forward in the future should come through school board. Tender for Lakeside Beach washroom, change room. I'm not sure if everybody was aware that we budgeted this year to build a change room down there at the pad. Parking pad on the beach. I sent a request for quotations for 3 contractors to construct the beach, front, washroom, change room. The thought was because we'd only budgeted $30,000, we'd at least get the building up this year. And next year we would budget some funds to do the plumbing and everything on the inside. I received 2 bids, with a little bid being $29,685 plus HST. I would recommend awarding work to company number 167459 Ontario Limited to get this thing built.
Is that, what's the construction block or the block?
And initially it was supposed to be a, what do you call it, architectural block or fancy block. And there was going to be a problem with supply and getting these things. Apparently,
that's the ones that are
sold out.
right.
They're sold out for the year, so they'd have to retool and to do them again. There's the cost for setting that up. So I figured we just put up a gray block building, new metal roof, and hire some local artist to put a mural or something on it.
Yeah, that'd be all right.
Yeah, something. Council chamber just didn't sell it, didn't get any bites on any of them. So I don't know if there's any point in trying to sell them individually or
How much will we have to pay somebody to take them?
yes, or that.
Hey,
Just give them away for free.
It's only half and then good.
Well, if we take them to the dump, then don't we get a little bit?
Yeah.
We get some money back.
Yeah.
We get some scrap money
14
back.
cents a
And I
piece.
know a desk over there too, like the old shop.
Take the tops off.
I sold it in-
Take the tops off.
A desk, an old desk.
That's maybe need somebody that's good at selling. They can sell anything on Facebook. Where those pages are. There.
They're not, are they on our town page? Or
No, I didn't know if I.
No,
saw it.
Yeah,
Hey,
I think it's a part hard pick.
I think it's a good subject when we get business.
Project on Lakeside Drive has been completed. Remaining items of shouldering and hydro seeding are now complete. That contractor is complete, but we're still waiting on approvals from Ontario Hydro. Got 2 of the 3 permits we need for the additional lighting to go on Dawson Street, power to the beach house, and the additional lighting on Lakeside Drive.
What about the new sign? Is it part of that?
Yeah.
Are you still gonna try to do that this fall, winter? That's fine. I don't know.
Well, we've got to put a tender out yet even, so I would expect it probably in spring, but
Yeah.
we've got till 2026 to use that money up, so. It's too bad.
They used to have the
that
sign right up
sign,
though.
that information sign, right? 'Cause
Yeah.
it could probably include it in this contract. But something to look at next year in stage 4.
She gets solar lights, just put them on there for now.
Marina startup, Planet is on and was running, no issues this year so far. We don't have that alarm on there yet. We had to order it. It should be in shortly. Ice making hasn't been delayed. We just had to slow down because the painter was supposed to be here tomorrow and now he's not coming until Thursday. So I'm gonna go out skating Friday night. It should be good to go for Monday morning or Monday night, I guess.
Yeah, the tower Ken's talking about, they erected one at the school.
Yeah, they have.
And
Yeah.
I don't know if it's working.
It's for to provide a better Wi-Fi connection for the school, although it's right beside the school.
Yeah, I know something's not making sense.
Just the terrain at the park, I would expect is probably lower
Yeah.
than where the tower is now.
Yeah.
It just,
I mean, if we got a proposed water tank or tower in the future, we don't want to
you know,
put that up there.
Well,
There's
I
no-
mean,
really no other.
just because somebody walks up and says they want to put a tower on your land doesn't mean we have to.
And especially when the requesting come from the school board itself.
Yeah, it should be coming from the school board, not from.
And like Robert, they tried to contact them. Did they ever get back to you guys? 3 or 4 times, so I mean,
Yeah.
you know,
it just seems it's just kind of,
they'd already picked the site that they wanted to put this thing. There's only one place it could go in the park without interfering with your bar tower development of those properties.
it's just something I don't think we spend a lot of time on. And
I don't think we're interested.
anybody have any questions for Ken?
So when we do the ice Thursday, we always put that minor hockey thing that where the picture there in the ice, but it's not, it's toast.
Okay,
So like we've been piecing it together,
right.
cutting pieces off and throwing them away and whatever. So
Where would you even get one of those?
I think Jen Stokes or something like that, or Jen
Grafton?
Rexton would make those, but too late now.
It's too late now. Okay.
So we won't put it in.
Well, is there anybody, like, what time do they work till? I have to get into the equipment room to see about stocks and that, because there's so many new little ones coming
They're there till 4,
till 4, okay,
but I can let you in whenever you want, but
right.
I think we still have combination lock on that door,
Yeah.
so I'm not very good at those.
No, I know the combination. And there's so
Whatever you
much
want.
stuff in there that needs to be thrown away.
They'll be there this weekend too,
Okay,
Saturday and Sunday.
okay, perfect.
Okay, so we'll move forward to Randy at number 7. Oh, I guess we can do number 6.
Be resolved that due to the proof of vaccination requirement as per the Ontario regulation and the lack of staff to monitor this requirement, the Thistleton Memorial Arena upper deck be available to rent for corporate training and not social functions, and furthermore, that it be closed off to the public while the arena is open.
Are we gonna revisit that if something comes up?
We can always open
Well, I
it
mean, yeah, if the rules change, it's not, but as of now. That's what it would be. Let's move by Lindsay, second by Tracy, all in favor? Randy, number 7.
Be resolved, the accounts payable to October 18th, 2021, total amount of $1,250,000 $1,510,885.98 be approved for payment, noting that for any member of council who has declared a pecuniary interest with regard to any account, their approval is based on this account being excluded from the total accounts payable. I guess that's right.
That's a, yeah,
We love that back.
yeah, that's a pioneer,
Yeah.
completed the jobs. And staff bonuses.
I was just gonna say, kids all the time.
That's moved by Randy, second by Linda, all in favor?
Ounces, they don't take it out of my account.
We know it wouldn't bounce in. Randy, number 8.
Be resolved that in light of the real tax fees, etc., the minimum tender amount for the property described as Plan 8, Part Lot N, Lawrence Street North, be set at $3,000.
So we put that up before, we haven't got any bids on it, but
Wait, which one was that again?
it's,
And flower pot.
Oh, okay.
East of Harold.
Oh,
it's a real narrow piece of property. And
Left of the.
Does that go down to the water there?
This side of Diamond Street.
Oh, okay.
It's real narrow and it doesn't
Yeah.
meet
no,
the standard to anybody to build
no.
it. That's moved by Randy, second by Linda, all in favor? Tracy, number 9.
Be it resolved that the scope and terms and conditions sections of the mandatory COVID-19 vaccination verification policy be revised as recommended by the Human Resources Committee.
Everybody got a chance to look at that. So that's moved by Tracy, second by Lindsay, all in favor? And Randy, number 10.
Be resolved that the request from Northern Rural Net to construct a tower in Lakeside Park to replace the tower at the Thessalon Public School be declined at this time.
Moved by Randy, second by Linda, all in favor? For the North Shore Community Safety and Wellbeing Plan, do you have anything to say on that, Robert?
Well, I'm pleased that we finally have completed the plan. It's come from a number of meetings. I've been trying to keep you updated over the past few months. And now the real work begins to address the concerns that were raised in the survey. And we did bring in a number of agencies to offer advice, and going forward, they'll be involved to help come up with ways to address these issues. So it went very well that we could be part of the other municipalities.
Randy, number 11.
Resolved that the tender for the Lakeside Beach Washroom Change Room from 16749459 Ontario Limited, operating as JSC Construction, in the amount of $29,685 plus HST, be accepted.
That's moved by Randy, second by Linda, all in favor? I think it'd be well received next summer. Have a place to change in the washroom and
Yeah.
They're gonna do that this fall?
Yeah, very good.
Are we planning on locking that in the evenings?
Yes, I think we'll lock it when staff goes in. That would be the plan, that would
The
be.
park staff go home at 7, and if we decide to close it down, that's, they'll lock it.
Marcel, number 12.
Be resolved, the council approve the North Shore Community Safety and Wellbeing Plan 2021-2025, and the council considered the inclusion of monies in the 2022 budget for expenses related to the implementation of the plan, i.e. publications, print, or video, etc.
That's moved by Marcel, second by Lindsay, all in favor? Then Lindsay, number 13.
Be it resolved that council acknowledge receipt of the committee and staff reports.
That's moved by Lindsay, second by Tracy, all in favor? So we move into general business. Ken, do you want to have a little about the ISAP grant before we do that out for the fire hall? For the grant that we-
Yeah, we applied for that.
But it's,
That was spring, but it was, we put on delay. We couldn't announce that we're told we were successful, but we couldn't announce it. And the grant was for roof replacement, some other upgrades to the actual fire hall. So,
some drywall and stuff. inside,
yeah,
and,
so we have $100,000 worth of upgrades we can do to the building.
So,
we'll have to get tenders for the roof.
yeah.
So probably next year.
Yeah, that'd be,
Next stage, yeah.
but we should be able to get those tenders over with.
Yeah, you have to put the signage up that we received the grant right away. They want their name with it.
So we move into general business. Randy, number 14.
Be resolved that bylaw number 2445, being a bylaw to authorize the signing of agreements and related documents under the Investing in Canada Infrastructure Program, ICIP, COVID-19 Resilience Infrastructure Stream, local government intake between Her Majesty the Queen in Right of Ontario, as represented by the Minister of Infrastructure and the Corporation of the Town of Thessalon, be passed in open council this 18th day of October 2021.
Let's move by Randy, second by Linda. All in favor? Once again, I'd like to thank staff because all these grants and monies that we're getting, our staff is doing a great job.
A lot of work.
Getting them, because they're not easy to fill out, and we've been successful, and it's because of our staff. Randy, number 15.
Be resolved that bylaw number 2446, being a bylaw to authorize the signing of a lease agreement, related documents for the Canon IRC 3725, complete with cassette, fax, multifunction photocopier between Algoma Office Equipment and the Corporation of the Town of Thessalon, be passed in open council this 18th day of October 2021.
That was moved by Randy, second by Linda. All in favor? This new photocopier, we've cut our paper consumption on that by 75%, I think.
With the new copier?
Well, no, our usage, our paper
Our
usage
usage,
is
yeah,
down
I think over the past
like
year.
70%. So
Just over the past year?
Yeah.
Because once we went paper or started changing, and that was a big drop,
Yeah.
but that's a few years ago.
So we don't need that photocopier that did 1,000 different
No.
things, and so it's good. Lindsay,
Be resolved that bylaw number 2447, being a bylaw to authorize the signing of a lease agreement and related documents for a CDBI crypto with Bluetooth and integration through Algoma Technology Services, ATS, at the Thessalon Fitness Center located at 333 River Street between RCAP Leasing and the Corporation of the Town of Thessalon, be passed in open council this 18th day of October 2021.
that was moved by Lindsay, second by Tracy. All in favor? And Lindsay, you said that's going to happen in the
I
next
think
month,
mid-November.
in November. Linda, number 17.
Be it resolved that bylaw number 2448, being a bylaw to amend the user fees and charges of Schedule G of bylaw number 1800, be passed in open council this 18th day of October 2021.
And that was moved by Linda and second by Randy. All in favor? Tracy.
Be it resolved that bylaw number 2449, being a bylaw to adopt a hiring policy and procedures for the town of Escalon, be passed in open council this 18th day of October 2021.
That's moved by Tracy, seconded by Lindsay. All in favor? And we have to move into close. Okay.
You should be losing by now.
Byron.
See you guys.
Well,
Happy Halloween.
thanks, Ken.
Yeah, welcome. Good night. Night.
Lindsay, number 19.
The council proceed in closed session in order to address personal matters about an identifiable individual, including municipal or local board employees, and specifically the duties performed by an office employee, consideration of an applicant for an asset manager and administrative coordinator position, and the response time regarding contracted service. 2, acquisition or disposition of property of the municipality or local board, and specifically consideration involving the acquisition of lands north of Highway 17.
So we're
I'll
done.
pause it now.
That council resume open session.
Oh, dang
Jeez.
Moved by Lindsay, second by Tracy. All in favor? And Tracy, number 21.
Be it resolved that with regard to closed session item number 1, council accepts the recommendation from the Human Resources Committee regarding the duties performed by an office employee.
And that is moved by Tracy, second by Lindsay. All in favor? And Tracy, number 22.
Be it resolved that with regard to closed session item number 2, council accept the recommendation from the Human Resources Committee regarding the asset manager and administrative coordinator position.
That is moved by Tracy, second by Marcel. All in favor? Is that you, Marcel?
Yeah,
Or
me.
you? Or your?
You're done or
All in
on
favor?
that.
I think that's a very good hire. I think it's part of our succession. Marcel,
Be resolved that with regard to closed session item number 3, council accept the recommendation of planning advisory committee that the letter be sent contract business regarding response times and services provided.
that's moved by Marcel, second by Lindsay. All in favor? That letter already.
Don't think it's been prepared yet.
Randy, number 24.
Be resolved that with regard to closed session item number 4, council accept the recommendation of the planning advisory committee concerning the lands north of Highway 17.
Moved by Randy, second by Linda. All in favor? Confirmatory, Lindsay, number 25.
Be resolved that bylaw number 2450, being a bylaw to confirm the proceedings of the meeting of council held on October 18th, 2021, be passed on to council this 18th day of October, 2021. Thank you, Tracy.
Moved by Lindsay, second by Tracy. All in favor?
We get change around here. Carl, I've got some change.
Lindsay is number 26.
That this meeting be adjourned at 7:49 p.m.
Moved by Lindsay, second by Tracy. All in favor? Is that recorded?
Me.
The sunset